I was born in 1984. Back then, I didn't know it's an Orwellian year. I hadn't gone to college yet. When I went to college and read 1984, I had a good laugh. I mean, Orwell did have hopes, we did not live up to them. We didn't even try. Mainly because we didn't know the book exists. Also, I sometimes get asked by one of my personal favorite questions, how was communism? And I have to admit, don't remember much. I mean, it fell apart when I was 5. I did not contribute. At least not intentionally. I mean, I wasn't going around telling us like, I'm gonna break this union down. I spent most of my formative years trying, like every young man, I guess, trying to figure out what to do with the glue stick in one hand and what to do with the free hand. That was me. But I was growing up in a neighborhood where there was a lot of Russians and some Estonians, but just my mom, a couple more, having great fun. I always like to think that my parents just got unlucky. I have one sibling, I have a younger brother, he's human, looks that as well. He has hair, and I think, well, we're not gonna go there. There's a reason I have a hat on, because otherwise this is gonna get much more depressing very quick. And plus, when I dress like this, every other guy in Kalamaja thinks I'm coming out. So, just having fun. But yeah, I have a brother. He's doing great. He was born 4 years later. I personally think that in 1984, my parents just got a bit unlucky. Because not just because it was a time around these parts where if you didn't have any kids and you were a man, that's my dad, you had to pay a tax. Starting 30 years old, you had to support everybody else who had children. So he decided to solve that problem. Or I always like to think that maybe he just went to the zoo and was like, well, do you have something, I can use later as a toy for a child I'm gonna have? That's my kid brother. Yeah. Oh, he doesn't like that joke either. That's okay. I like him. Though I was a bit disappointed in 1988, I do remember that, because that's where my parents lied to me. They said, we're gonna go away for a while, but when we're gonna come back, you're gonna like what we're gonna bring back. Well, yes and no. I mean, I'm not saying I don't like my brother, but I wanted a cat. Like, I was a bit disappointed. They brought in this tiny thing, babies covered. There was a good old time where they wrapped babies tighter than food in the shop. There was just a nose and 2 tiny eyes, and I was like, do you have to unpack it? What am I supposed to do with it? They just don't drop it. I was like, okay, that makes sense. And the first thing my kid brother ever did, he almost took my nose off. That was a preparation for the fact that that's one thing I've now discovered as a grown man, that all babies like that. UFC with grown-ups. Whenever somebody has a baby, they're like, do you want to hold it? I'm like, I don't know if I should. And then you take the baby and it's like, and there's something like trying to take your ear off and your nose off, and there's a leg in your other ear, and you're like, can I have another one? I have a couple of pieces of my body that are not being ripped off at the moment. That's a great lock you have on this ear. Let's see what's gonna happen.